Hello and welcome, it's Liz here, and in this video we are working with shell stitches. This is a free pattern from Annie's and the link is in the description, so you can go ahead and print out this pattern and work along with me. This is a very basic shell stitch pattern. There's lots of variations and this is a good place to start. So we're going to start the video with a number 4 worsted weight yarn, and this is Premier Basics acrylic yarn. Today I'm using my 5mm crochet hook, and you'll need your scissors. So the pattern calls for a multiple of 6. So you can start your chain with however many you want in a multiple of 6 plus 1. So if this chain is 19. And then I'm going to chain up 3, which counts as my first double crochet. So 1, 2, 3. And then I'm just going to work another double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. Now, to begin the shell, we'll start the row with a half shell. To work a half shell, we've got our first 2 double crochets, and we're going to work 1 more double crochet into that same chain. Next, we're going to skip 2 chains, so skip and work a single crochet into the next chain, which is right there. Now we're going to work a full shell, so skip 2 more chains, skip, and a full shell is going to be 5 double crochets all into the same chain. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull through 2 loops, pull through 2 loops. That's 1 double crochet, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I worked all 5 of those double crochets into the same chain space, and I've got a full shell right there. So now we're just going to repeat that sequence across. So we'll skip 2 more chains, skip, and work a single crochet into the next chain, then skip 2 more chains, skip, and work a shell into the next chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 double crochets. Skip 2 chains, single crochet. Now when you get to the end of your chain, you should have 3 chains left. So we're going to skip 2, and then we're going to work a half shell into this last chain. That way we have a half shell in the beginning and a half shell at the end, and the full shells in the center. So skip those 2 chains and work 3 double crochets into the last chain. And that's row 1. Now for row 2, we're going to start with a single crochet. So chain up 1, turn your work, and work a single crochet into that same space. That's your first single crochet. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches. So skip this one, and we're going to work a shell into this single crochet from the previous row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 double crochet for a full shell stitch. Now we're going to skip 2 more stitches and work a single crochet into the center of the shell of the previous row. So skip this stitch, and work a single crochet right into that stitch. And then we're just going to repeat that sequence across. So skip, shell, skip, 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 single crochet, 2 skips only. Then skip, skip, and shell. And you'll see that the shells are going to go right into the single crochets of the previous row. So if you're working into a double crochet, then you may have missed a skip. So just go back and fix it. So that's 4 and 5. Now, as you can see, I'm at the end of my row again. So I have 2 more stitches right here. So I'm going to skip this one and skip this one. And then we're going to work the last single crochet into the top of the turning chain, which is the 3rd chain. So 1, 2, 3, and just work a single crochet right into that beginning chain of the previous row. And that's row 2. Now for row 3, we're going to do half shells at the beginning and end again. So 1, 2, 3, that's our first double crochet. Turn your work and work 2 more double crochets into that same space. 1 and 2. Half shell. Skip, skip, single crochet. Skip, skip, shell. So it's very similar to the previous row. You're basically going to skip 2 and single crochet, or skip 2 and shell. Until you come to the end of the row, where again you'll skip the last 2, or the last 2 of the last 3, and then you'll work a half shell into the single crochet of the previous row. So 1, 2, 3 double crochets, and that is your half shell. And for the entire pattern, you're simply going to repeat the last 2 rows. So everything in the middle is pretty much the same. What changes is the first is row 2 starts with the single crochets, and row 3 starts with the half shells, and then it alternates. So single half shells, like that. And you just repeat the last 2 rows for as long as you want it to be. And that is your very basic shell stitch pattern. Make sure you download this pattern to use, and make sure you subscribe to Annie's YouTube channel for more fun stitch tutorials. Thanks for joining me.